Well, hello YouTube. I need another project like a hole in the head, so I got one. So what this is an Alsport UT-10 utility truck that's missing about half of it. Not quite. I have the seat cushions in the garage, but it is missing the little dump bed that it had. And it's been sitting here for about a year. Untouched. I haven't even looked at it. So we're going to kind of look at it together here. Let me get the cover off of it and we'll get started. That's delicious. Alright. So let's take a look at what we got here. So normally the seat would be here. This has a 10 horsepower Tecumseh cast iron engine that looks well and truly packed with seeds and critters and who knows what else. We've got the original master cylinder here, which it's not seized, which is good. It's not connected to anything, which is not good, but we'll have to dig into that. Got a light that's connected with one out of two wires. Here's what's left of the brake line. Yep. I can see why that's no longer attached. And down inside there, we've got what looks like a doorbell button. I'm going to assume that is a horn. This is the parking brake, which that's really tight. Well, it moves, so that's good. The ignition switch, which I guess it's doing something. Don't know what, but it's doing something. We've got our fuel tank. Now, the previous owner had said that they had taken it apart enough to get it running, and that was it. The transmission is unbolted. Obviously the rear bed is missing. It's the fuel tank. That does not really smell like gasoline. And I believe that smells like it's older than a year. So questionable on whether this was running or if it was running when it was running. So I never even checked to see if this thing was seized or not, so hopefully it's not. Got muffler held on with a pipe clamp, hose clamp, and battery cable running through the pulley. Alright, we got our belt. That's good. Oh, that's nice. That turns nice and easy. That's good. And we'll get this belt off of here. I don't see the chain anywhere. So I've got to... Oh, maybe we'll get it off. That's probably why it's still on there like that. Okay. Got a fuel filter. There's a keeper for the master link. There's a couple bolts. fuel line. Oh, there's the chain. Okay. Cool. I don't see a master link. That's not cool. A lot of Nest stuff. Okay, well that's filthy, but it's not full of Nest. Unfortunately, the other end of it's not connected to anything. So I might as well just leave that off. But there's the carburetor. And this little hose, what's left of it, was supposed to somehow do something like that. A little bit of a tight curve there. Let's see, that looks like the choke cable. Well, that works. That's good. Throttle does nothing. Throttle is broken off. Okay. So where's that even go to? I don't even see where the cable's coming from. There's our positive battery lead. No, this is the throttle cable. Oh wait, it is connected. It's just going in from the other side. Oh, the carburetor's nice and free. That's good. That's sort of doing something. There we go. Wow, that's tight. But it works. So three out of the four. It only has 3 tires. 2 out of the 3 tires appear to hold air. So I guess the first thing we're going to do is attempt to put air in what's left of that tire. Oh, okay. It's tubeless. All hope might not be lost. Normally when you put air in a tire, the air is supposed to go in the tire. That's a little better. Well, the air's not coming directly back out. So I'm debating now whether I want to pull the carburetor off or if I just want to see if the electrical system does it. Actually, before I do anything, probably should check the oil and make sure it's not That appears to be neutral, hopefully. That sprocket is a little bit worn. It's kind of sharp there. That might be on the list of things to buy. Let's see, engine's got to be turning. Oh, there's a nice daddy long leg on there. So let's see, if that is neutral, then does it? That's the one direction. I think that's reverse. And that would be forward. Or vice versa, depending on which way the thing's actually supposed to spin. Well, carburetor is held on by 2 bolts, so fuel line's not even connected to it, so that's a good thing. And it's not clogged either because fuel just poured out of it. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is test out the electrical. And I'm just going to hook some fuel up to it and see what happens. Because if it needs to be torn apart, it's going to need to be torn apart whether or not I do it first. So let me get a jumper pack and see what we're going on. Okay, so a couple observations I've made. I attempted to take the belt off. I could not get it off, and apparently the last person couldn't either, because, and I can confirm that this was at one point running, because there is a ginormous chunk taken out of the belt where it got caught in the pulley. I'm gonna guess that happened, and that's when things stopped happening for this. Anyway, so we've got, I just put the belt on instead of trying to take the muffler off for right now. So for the time being, I don't have anything, I don't have the right thread fasteners, nuts for this. These are a fine thread. I do have a coarse thread, and it looks like somebody has already boogered up the threads on that one. So just, if this thing, well, that's as far as it goes. If this thing does start, it doesn't send the transmission into low Earth orbit. Anything else? This does drive off of a jack shaft, so the differential is back here on the axle, and the transmission connects to this sprocket here that runs on that jack shaft. And I was curious as to whether there was a chain or not on there, and there is, because if I rock it, it turns, and that shaft and the chain seem pretty good. I mean, the thing could be completely seized up underneath. I don't even know if we can see it. Nope. So this plate here comes off to access that. Brakes are non-existent, so it really doesn't matter if the master cylinder works or not, because there is nothing to connect it to. So now let's try and look at the electrical here. This looks like it's coming off of the charging coils, going right across the flywheel pulley. So that goes down under and around and crashes into a feed store at the bottom of the Pagosa Springs. I could just hook a battery up to it and see what goes pop. That goes to the regulator. That used to be the brake line. Okay, we don't need that. Don't need the fuel line, but I got to keep it somewhere it's not going to start spewing fuel out everywhere. These two wires. Wrapped around just about everything. Oh, the starter wire is zip tied to the shift linkage. So these, I'm willing to bet this might have been going back to a tail light or something. I think that's just wire tied to the frame. There's the fuel line again. Should get a tie or something on that. What the heck? That's a telephone cable. The solenoid is hooked up to a telephone cable. Calling Mr. Floyd. So I saw that up here. I was thinking that was for a horn. There is the other end of our telephone wire going into that button there. So that is apparently the starter button. Yeah, that's kind of how you doing. That is a fuse that's connected to nothing. Well, you know what? I think I'm just going to hook power up to it and see what catches on fire. I am going to disconnect the charging circuit, because if something goes wrong, horribly wrong, I don't think it would have made a difference. I don't think that would have made contact whether it was working or not. So I have that disconnected so we're not trying to charge or discharge anything in case the regulator is fried. And there's the regulator connected to. And the connection on it. Sort of. I have a feeling that might not be factory. It's just 3 spade terminals shoved onto the bottom of the regulator. Or it could have had a shell on it at one point in time that is no longer existing. Well, it shouldn't do anything if this got yellow, yellow, black, got yellow, yellow, red. Great. The red, it's going to the regulator is going to this wire. Well, we'll just put those somewhere that won't get eaten by the flywheel, I guess, and hope for the best. Somewhere where they won't ground out in case they're connected to anything. That might be good. Well, anything can be a fuse, to an extent anyway. I guess it's off. I should probably see if there's anything in the carburetor. That's a little bit crusty on the bottom. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Well, we'll give it a shot. Should I try pulling the spark plug out and seeing if we have spark? I am going to opt for no. Let's see if I can hook this up in a fashion that won't set everything on fire. Well, that's good. It sparks. I mean, that doesn't mean anything connected or not, but turning the key does nothing. Or the lights burned out, one or the other. Or there was a bad connection. Or all of the above. Let's see if the button does anything. Oh, yeah. Okay. That starter needs a bit of lube. I'm not pulling it apart right now. I just want to see if it'll... Well, I don't know if the ignition's on or off, or... I guess the throttle's... Yeah, throttle's on idle. You even seeing anything I'm doing? Kinda. Well, that's got a good seal on it. I think that piece is homemade. Let's see what happens. I don't know. We'll try turning the key on, whether it does anything or not. Well, we got spark. That's good. And now nothing. Okay. That's a nope. Well, we know the engine's good anyway. Put the tarp back on, order a solenoid, and go from there, I guess.